Hello guys, KP Chambino here with a new video for Fishing Planet. And in this video I'm going to talk about something that I already want to do for a long time, but I didn't really know how I need to put it in a format that is understandable. But I'm going to try it. So I got here my text file. I'm going to talk about how do you make an experience money farm. Because I got a lot of videos that I made, but I want to show you guys now how I approach always that video and what is the thinking process behind it. And then second, why I want to make this video, because there is a lot of misinformation going around, people that don't understand how experience money farms work optimal. And that's something that I want to get out of the game too. Because what I see is, like, people always ask, what is the best money experience farm? Most of the time the answer is not correct. It's vague. Like, I made 200,000 experience and I fished an entire day. What is an entire day? What is the time? Is that 6 hours? Because an entire day in Fishing Planets is 6 hours real life. So it's very vague what they are saying, and that's not good. If people ask a question, you need to say to them what is the best, and you need to give a perfect number. And that's something that I miss a lot. For example, I see a lot of people saying Zelengi is really good. No, Zelengi is not really good. And that's the problem that you create if you don't work with data or you approach the thinking process totally wrong. And that's something that I want to get out of the game, because I know at the moment a lot of people leave the game because they got the wrong information. I can understand that, because if you ask for a fast experience money farm and you got an answer, you do it and it's not fast and you don't get a lot of money, yeah, what are you going to do? You just close the game and you play something else. So we are going to start first with one of the things that I read a lot. And it's not always correct. I will explain myself. So number one, target fish. So what is a target fish that you need to fish in a certain area? Or what is a potential target fish that is going to give a lot of experience and money on a certain time? Always remember that. So it's always on a time based. That's something that a lot of people don't understand either. If you make 500,000 experience in a day and that day is 10 hours and I make 500,000 experience in 1 hour, my experience farm is better than yours. So therefore it's always important that you understand on the time. So the first one, so experience and money for each kilogram is not the most important. Why? I will give you guys an example. So fish 1 is maximum 10 kilogram and is giving 500 experience for each kilogram. Fish 2 is maximum 100 kilogram and is giving 300 experience for 1 kilogram. There are a lot of people that would think this is the best for experience money farm, but most of the time that's not correct. I will explain myself. So catch one fish of each, so you catch the first fish and the second fish. So the first one is going to give 10 kilogram multiply 500 is only 5,000 experience. But the second fish is 100 multiply 100 kilogram multiply 300 experience for each kilogram is 30,000 experience. So you can see that the fish that got the lowest experience for every kilogram is winning very easy. Of course, fish 2 is a lot heavier, and once again, time is important, is going to take more time than fish 1, but not most of the time, not 6 times longer. Why is that? Therefore, you need to understand how Fishing Planet is made. So Fishing Planet is totally based on leveling. The higher the level, the more access you get to heavier equipment. But most of the time that's really good calibrated. So most of the time you go to an area, and if you go on the level that you can go to an area, to that area, most of the time you cannot get the big fish in at decent pace. But if you level a little bit higher, you get access to bigger gear, and then you will get the big fish really easy in too. So there is not really ever a time that this fish is going to take 6 times longer than the smaller fish. So therefore, most of the time, the bigger fish are, for that reason, in the experience money farm. Not always, because there are exceptions on this. You got uniques, small fish uniques, that give more experience for, I call it experience fish. So you got money fish and experience fish. How can you see it? If a fish gives more experience for every kilogram, it's an experience fish. But they are very rare. Like the electric eel is one of them. So therefore we take it in Amazonian. And on that moment, most of the time, it's not the biggest fish. But overall, it's most of the time the biggest fish. So if you see the walleye in Emerald Lake, he's the biggest fish. The spotted bass in the Texas is the biggest fish. Maybe the other one is a little bit bigger, that's possible, but it's easy catchable too. So the sturgeon, the big four, the big carp in the UK, then it's the catfish in the Marron River, Arapaima, bull shark, swordfish, they are all the biggest fish. So most of the time you will find the biggest fish in an experience farm, even if they give less experience and money for each kilogram. That's the reason. Then the next one, and this is very important too. So now you got your target fish, and as a content creator, this is a very important tip too, because I see so many videos going around that I think by myself, how is that possible? So people make an experience farm, let's say for the sturgeon in California, that's a level 32 area, and they are using in that video Congo gear. Yes, Congo gear, level 75. They call it the best experience money farm from 40 to 50, and they use Congo gear. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Always try to use gear closest to the entry level of that area. Because why do you really think that people that are in the Congo are going to farm the sturgeon in California? It's not going to happen. So what I always do is like this. So if I go to a new area or I want to make a money experience farm, find the perfect setup compared to the fish fight and the area level. What does that mean? So I go to Michigan. Or no, I go to California, level 32. I want to make a sturgeon farm. So I buy level 32 gear. I go to the sturgeon. I start testing. Is the fight taking long? Can I get the fish really quick in? If the answer is no, I need to go higher with my gear. Therefore, that the sturgeon farm is not really that good at level 32. It starts at 38. Why is that? Because on that moment, with the sniper bottom rods, you can get the sturgeon in at a decent time. And that's very important. So you just go up, you keep going up until you think by yourself, okay, this fight time is good. What are markers to see that the fight time is good? For example, if you go with bottom rods and you cannot get the fish, you got multiple bites and you cannot get the fish in before the fish get unhooked on the other bottom rods, that's a problem. So then you can think, shit, this gear is too low. If you need to fight 10 to 50 minutes real life a fish in the freshwater, that's a problem. It can be never a good experience money farm. So you start with the starting level, you take that level, you go to the shop, you buy equipment and then you test. It takes a lot of time, then you go up with equipment until you see this farm is good, the pace is good that I get the fish in, then it's good. So that's number 2. So here you can see it, 2.1. Fights in farm cannot take too long. That's true. Here I said it already. How to do it? Start with gear with same level as area. Test too long fight, move up with the gear, get it better. And then the other one is very important too. Boats to shorten the fight. That's something that you need to think about it sometimes too. I know there are people that use, for example, on the sturgeon a kayak. That's something that you always need to get in your head. The boat with the trolling motor, very important, because that's the one that you can chase it. It's now a little bit less, but sometimes boats can help to shorten the fight. Remember that. Boats are very important. They nerfed that a little bit, but it's still very important that you know that. So I always think, okay, how can I speed up so my gear is good? Is there something that I can do? Yeah, I'm going to use now a boat, and it's going to shorten the fight. Then the next one. This is very important too, not that easy to find. Location target fish. Find a good location that spawn the target fish. Oh, this is not good. What do I mean with it? So first of all, you need to find a location. The aim is most of the time unique. Why unique? Because percentage-wise, a unique always going to give the most experience and money for the kilogram. So you got young, common, trophy, and unique, but the multiplier is the most on the uniques. So you need to find somewhere a place that is very easy accessible, that is going to spawn a lot of the fish that you want to have, and that's important. Most of the time, after 10 years of Fishing Planet, those locations are already known. So once again, the sturgeon in California, why it's so good? Because those fish are sitting 10 meters in front of you and you can get them very easy. The electric eel, why is that so simple? Because you just park the boat, the fish is sitting there, and it spawns a lot of uniques. That's very important, that you find a location like that. And then the next one is important too. The closer to the shore, the better. In fresh water, that is. Why is that? To shorten the fight. Let's fight. That's how it is. So if I go to a new experienced money farm that I want to make, and I need to throw 100 meters, most of the time it's a no-go. I will give you guys an example. I once wanted to make a money farm, experience farm on the Welsh catfish in Germany. And I just stopped. Why I stopped? Because you need to throw in the holes, and that's 100 meters. You're going to lose so much time fighting that fish, because that 100 meters you need to get it in. So that's a problem. So that's very important, this one. And then the next one, and this is very important. So if you think I got a farm, time it with a stopwatch. That's something that I don't see that's something that I don't see a lot. Once again, experience money on a certain time. So what do you need to do? So we got the target fish, we got the setup, that is bringing that fish in really quick. Now it's time to test. So what do you need to do first? So don't stop watching if you're testing. There was a guy, I still remember it, on the Reddit, and he was comparing Japan with the Congo. And what did he do? So in Japan, he was freelancing. He was just going around on the amberjack freelancing, and he was timing it. And I was thinking, what is he doing? And then he went to the Congo. That is a perfect experienced money farm. So you know when they spawn, you know what you need to do. And then his conclusion was, the Congo is a lot better than Japan. The conclusion was right, but it's not a lot better. That's the problem. And that's something that I think by myself, don't do that. First, you need to go to Japan, find a rotation on the amberjack that is perfect, that you can forward the time and all that shit, and then you start doing the stopwatch. And then you can compare it with something else. That's very important. So number one, first get the farm optimized, then start timing. Don't start timing during testing. Very important. Another thing. Don't say, I think I fished 40 minutes. No, you know that you fished 40 minutes. You need to say to people the data that is exact. I fished 1 hour, I got 200,000 experience. That's what you need to say. Because this fake, what is a day? That's something that I read so many times. I fished an entire day, I got this. What is an entire day? You need to be sure. Very important. If people ask accurate information, you need to give accurate information. The next one is important too. Write the numbers down. Data is the most important. So if you test, don't test 1 hour, test 5 to 10 hours, put it in a text file like I always do, and that number is correct. If somebody says on that moment, it's this, it's that, that's bullshit. So the data need to be approached correct and need to write down correct. And then if someone asks what is the XP, you need to say XP on a certain time. That's the best info that you need to give. But of course you need to work for it, because the moment that you start doing this, you already spent probably 20 to 30 hours testing. So therefore it takes a lot of time. Then the next one, number 5. If possible, target unique species. I already said that to you guys. So what is my thinking process the entire time? So I go for big fish. That was number 1. Then the next one, is there a unique version? So that's what I did in the NAPRO. So the NAPRO is one of the experience money farms that I started from zero. So I saw the big fish. You got 4 of them. Do they got a unique version? The Beluga didn't have a unique version, but the other 3 ones got one. So that was for me target number 1. And it worked. Why? They give percent the most experience money for each kilogram. So that's most of the time the target fish. If not possible, you need to go for the trophies. And so on. And then you go down. The next one. This is very important too. So you guys that watch my channel, you see that I got a lot of experience money farms, and most of the time they are at the night. Why I'm doing that? There are 2 reasons why I do that. So first of all, why? You don't need to spend bait coins to forward the time. So that's very important. But that's not only because you will lose the bait coins. That's not the only reason. So if you go to the night, so the night starts from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., you can in the night forward the time free too. Sometimes you need to do that. So if you want to test, that's something that I do a lot, you test every night 1 hour, you see what is spawning in, how is the fish reacting. So it's very handy to do that. You can just jump to every time zone, test a little bit, 5 minutes, forward the time again. If you don't do that at the night, take it from me, for every experience money farm, you probably will lose 500 to 1000 bait coins. If you don't do that. And it's always very handy too, for people that are lower level. So therefore I always want to do that. Because I know people that are lower level, they don't have on the side 5000 bait coins. Sometimes it's not possible, like the pike in Michigan, you cannot catch them at the night. So you need to fish in the daytime. That can be problematic, because people are using a bait coin. But the problem is you don't have a very, on that moment it's not that you get tons of kilograms in. So it's still doable. But for example, the walleye, why at the night? Very simple. You got a small net, you fill it really quick forward the time. And it's not costing you anything besides damage on your equipment and the fee that you need to pay for money. Therefore, I do it. There are 2 reasons. So if you got the target fish, the location, the time right, you need to go. First, you need to check, can I get that fish at the night? Then the next one, and this now it's getting very complicated. So number 7, most important step, get the time, weather, temp right. So in this game, you get a spot. What is going to influence that you get the unique on that spot? That's first of all the time, but that's of course in correlation with the weather and the temperature. So how does this game work? So you got a location. A location can spawn in this game a unique. But you can get more uniques or less uniques. And that depends all on the weather. So you got water temperature and air temperature. So you got the best temp that you can have. And then you will get the most spawns on that area. If you go further away from that temperature, the spawns get less. And then you got the wind, and it's a little bit the same. So for the people that saw my my Nile Perch video, it was 0.9 west wind, I think, at a certain time, and then most of the time you get your unique. But that's very hard to know, because once again, this is a lot of testing. Do you need to do that? Not really. Most of the time at the night, if you got a peak, so a peak on your graphic, and it's spawning a unique, you can just always go to that one. At the end, this is the perfect experience money farm, but you can go under it just to that you got a good experience money farm, and then you just need to get the time right. Just go to a peak at the night or in the day. If you see 7 a.m, I'm getting that unique, write it in your book, and always go 7 a.m. You can ignore it, but you will feel it. But it's still going to be a good experience money farm. So here you can see it. I'm going to put target fish spawns on certain moments on the day, depend on the weather, temp, wind, and time. You need to find that to get the farm perfect. Perfect. But a good farm is a good farm too, you know? So the next one, and this is something I think it's still all in the game, but I'm not sure. So there are in this game things to improve the experience from fish, so that you simply get more experience if you get the fish. So the first one is barbless hook. The barbless hook is going to give 12% experience. They nerfed it from 20 in the past, but that's something that you always see in my money experience farms too. If I can use a barbless jig-head, a barbless hook, I will use it, because those 12% are a lot. That's a lot more. So simply you catch a fish, you get 12% more. Fishing together gives more experience. And then fishing in a club room is giving more experience too. So therefore it's good if you level, make a club, invite something, make a club room, and go sit in the club room. The more people you got in the club room, the more experience you will get. Then this is something, I think it's still in the game. I remember that like 1-2 years ago, they boosted spin fishing. So spin fishing, if you spin fish, you simply get more experience. I think it's still in the game, but I'm not sure. I thought it was 10%. So if you can spin fish, try to do it. But most of the time, why are we not doing a lot of spin fishing? Because, yeah, with bottom rods, you can fish with a rod stand with 4 rods. You simply catch a lot more fish, and it overcomes this boost. But for example, on the Nile Perch, it's really good that we got 10% more. Trolling gives more experience too, but that's of course something for the ocean maps. So try to troll, it's giving more experience. And then the other thing, and this is something that a lot of people I think misunderstand. So you got the tackle modifier in this game is going to give more experience too, but it works like this. So if you catch a fish, you will see on the catch stream, you will see triangles. You will see red 1, 2, 3 or green 1, 2, 3. But you need to understand this system. So it's not infinite, this system. So what does that mean? So I see a lot of people ask that question. I'm losing experience because I got 3 red triangles. That's not always bad, because you need to understand that you get the fish a lot quicker in too. Once again, you get the fish a lot quicker in. So over time, you will make more experience even with 2 red triangles. So how does that system work? So you got a fish. The fish got a certain kilogram. And depending on your setup, you will get green or red triangles. But it stops at some moment. So if you got 3 green triangles, you're on the maximum experience that you get extra. So on that moment, if you make your setup lighter, you will not get more experience anymore. So don't do that. We are once again with number 1. If you need to choose by getting the fish in 5 minutes with a red tackle modifier, or you need to get the fish in at 10 minutes with the green modifier, you go for number 1. So you will always see, if you time it even with the red, you will make more experience and money over time. That's a misconception a lot of people got. They think I can go really low on the light gear, it takes me 20 minutes and I make a shitload of more experience. No, because that's limited. that's limited, that system. So most of the time you don't watch to that system. I never watch to that system. I just time. I never, when I made an experience money farm, I watched to the tackle modifier. Of course, you need to understand that you need to do these two, right? Find perfect setup compared to the fish fight. If you go with the Congo level to the sturgeon, once again, yeah, don't do that. But if you follow number 2, you don't need to watch because you're using gear for that area most of the time. So that's very important. And then number 9, with all the info that you got here, moving between spots is never good. It will never make you more experienced. I see people doing that a lot. If you know what are the settings that I can spawn in a unique or the target fish, moving is just losing time. That's how simple it is. Because you move, once again, you're losing time that you're not fishing. So that's very important. Because I didn't test it, but I think that every spot got another setting too. I still need to test that, so don't pin me on it. So what you need to do, when can you start moving? If you know on every spot that spawns a certain unique in the game, if you know the perfect setting, the perfect weather, the wind on every spot, then you can start moving. Because on that moment you know, oh fuck, I'm now on this spot, this is not going to get a unique, but the next day, spot number 3 is going to give me a unique, then you can move. But if you don't know that information, it's always better to stay at one spot. Therefore, I think I never make the video experience money farm where I move around. It's possible on the tiger fish, I think, maybe, but most of the time I stay at one moment and I just get the knowledge when they spawn in the unique and I go to that setting. So that was it, guys. It's a lot of information. I want to thank you guys for watching and I see you guys in next video. Bye bye.